Okay? All right. Good afternoon and welcome to our podcast. So, are we in right class? Okay. So, for today, as you know that we have 2 hours of lecture, and I'll try my best to utilize it. I think it's pretty long, to be honest, because I thought this actually is my first time teaching multinational finance, but I'm quite not to say senior like in teaching international finance. And you know that the difference between international finance and multinational finance is multinational finance is for finance student and international finance for non-finance student, right? So I teach them. Okay, so more or less it's quite similar except we have 2 additional chapters. But I will speak to you later on. But I rearranged it, yeah, to suit with our timing and our wisdom, yeah. So that's my name, and also I'm the tutor for this multinational finance, yeah. So as you can see, I already uploaded last week. I think Wednesday or Tuesday last week. So be to say more than a week, yeah. So I already uploaded all the materials. For example, the projects, okay, and also the practice, and then what do you call this? Cost plan, yeah, and so on. And the notes, chapter 1 and chapter 2. I have another chapters, yeah. But just that I want to adjust a bit, yeah, to make it longer to suit with that 3 hours. Because as you know that chapter 1, 2, and 3, theory based. It is color calculation, which is very light calculation. So the slides that I have when I taught international finance is pretty short to fit with that 2 hours lecture. So that's why I haven't uploaded that chapter 3 and onwards, because I try to make it longer, more pages and content. Yeah. So please bear in mind, but I'll try my best to upload chapter 3 and 4 this week. But usually before 2 weeks before the lecture, I upload them. Yeah. So the synopsis, as you can see, this course focuses on studying the role and functions of finance in international arena, and the additional risk and opportunity to multinational business with the international finance environment. Student will be Student will be able to explain, analyze, and appraise the role and functions of finance in the international context. Yeah. But before that, may I know how many of you are international students? One? Only one? Okay. The reason I'm asking is because once in a while I tend to speak Malay again because we're Malaysian, right? So since international students, so I will refer myself since I know that, yeah. Okay, so CLO 1, 2, and 3, do I need to go through this? I don't think, okay. I think as you can see, CLO 1 for test, CLO 2 for project, and CLO3, meaning that CLO3 comprises of CLO1 and 2. It's for final exams at all, yeah. So for the main references, at first I wanted to bring it together, but I noticed that it's an old version. So I will try my. In fact, number 1, main references, Moffat Study Enlightenment 2023. But personally, I like Madura the best because very simple, easy to understand. Okay, Moffat okay lah. For me, number 2, but you can have both. I will encourage, since now everything in your fingertips, so maybe you can get the textbooks, okay, PDF version, but previous edition. I'm pretty sure you have. Okay, so more or less the content is still the same, it's just that maybe for the latest version, they add more current real case scenario, that's all, like maybe COVID and everything. And, okay, but the rest, the main that we're going to cover, okay, to me that previous editions is sufficient. Yeah, so I will try, I will ask the publisher to get me one, so I'm not sure when I can have it. Once I have it, I will bring it. But if not, then I will bring the old version, okay? Okay, it's okay. I will try and find it, yeah, to get it as soon as possible. So additional reference is okay, like if you have, you have. If not, it's fine. 1 and 2, it doesn't mean that you have to have it. It's just that for additional, yeah, additional. If, for example, the lecture, for example, like textbook for one chapter, they have like 60 pages, and then we only can cover within 3 hours, and you think it's not enough for 3 hours, so you can read from these materials from main references, number 1 and number 2. Okay, so continuous assessment, tests and group project, and then the final exam. So let's talk about tests. I intend to do it, yeah, tentatively will be scheduled on Thursday of week 6. So I think the venue is fine. Well, one space, so I think we can do it here, okay? I will get the confirmation on here from FGO, whether I'm able to get the, I mean to do the examination here. Yeah, I mean the test, not the examination, the test. So, luckily, I'm quite generous, just 1 second. Usually 1 to 5, but I will do 1 to 4. Okay? So the date is tentatively depending on the value availability, so that's why I need to check first whether, but for sure, we will do the test during lecture hour, lecture slots. Okay, so week 6, 25th of July 2024, so from 12:30 to 2 p.m. So week 6, so meaning that 1 chapter gone for our lecture then. So I'm going to explain to you which chapter that I'm going to exclude. By the way, Ling Fang Kang, I forgot to ask. Can you hear me?
Yes, miss. Yes, miss.
All right, that's great. So now let's continue with this. So a group project, I rest the case for your tutorial 1. Okay, and I'm going to explain later because remember last Monday public holiday again. So it involved 3 tutorial slots, which I'm not going to extend until next week. Okay, nanti after this. Yeah. So now the lectures and tutorial are the S. Okay, will be conducted physically, except for week 14. It's already circulating our email saying that week 14 online, because usually we share the final exam, passing questions and so on again. So okay lah. But other than that, physical, unless I cannot make it for emergency, but usually I like physical class. Maybe I'm behind the technology, everyone I can online, but when it comes to calculation, I like face to face. I don't know why, that's my preference. What about you? Don't care, right? You don't care as long as whatever lah. Okay, but I'll try my best. Okay, except for 1 week, I have to go overseas for something lah. Yeah, so that's out already. And then I have to on my leave 2 weeks already. So 2 weeks gone for and there are like 2 chapters. Okay, all chapters are going to discuss. Yeah. So as you can see, our friend Ling Farhan is not well, okay? So I only allowed for you, like Mr. Lee here, okay, with permission and with supporting documents attached together. Just because of I'm balik kampung at my hometown, can I do it online? No, I don't accept that. Okay, it's common sense, class. Okay, common sense. Unless something happened really that I think that okay, I can accept that reason. But usually I don't accept that. But who knows? In the future, maybe something that but you don't want to miss the class or whatever. Yeah. But because of balik kampung holiday, come on lah. You know, week 14, right? 14 weeks, you have to be here. Or week 13 lah. Yeah, you have to be here. Plan well. Okay, plan your time management. Yeah. So now, back to this task. Okay, fine. Group project. Okay, this one I'll leave it during tutorial. It's very long. They said my group project quite hard. I don't know. Maybe is it? Oh, cool. Oh no. I asked my friend, susah ke? You gila ke? But never mind, I will help you. Okay? What I want, because I'm the only marker, so I will show you my preference. Yeah? I will show you my preference. And then, okay, final exam. You know it already long, okay? FGO standard. You have to answer section A and section B. Section A compulsory, section B answer any 2 questions out of that 3. Yeah? Okay, now what I want to highlight here for our 3 hours lecture. I don't know the previous lecture, I asked the previous lecture, did you utilize all the 3 hours? I say sometimes. So, I try to engage more activities. Okay, if not, if engage still cannot meet the 3 hours, you can rest the class early. Okay, but never mind lah. Final exam, I mean like more than 14 weeks to go. I will explain through that now. I will explain through that. Okay, during closer to the date. Okay, as you can see, we have all 14 weeks. So this week is week 1, and then this is our first lecture. Okay, and what I want to highlight here is, what do you see? Can I? Okay, I cover all until week, this one, yeah. For week 8, supposedly chapter 8 and chapter, topic 8, which is in week 8, yeah. They merge the measuring and measuring exposure. This chapter is quite long, and I think even 3 hours, I don't think you can meet. So I split measuring exposure and managing exposure into 2 different topics. Do you get my point? This one, I split. One, maybe measuring exposure here, week 8, and week 9, managing exposure. And then we swap week 9. Okay, because it's quite long, especially the calculation. And then the calculation usually in the examination like 80 marks, 20 marks. So I want to take it slow and then do the exercises rather than, because this one merge. International finance, they split. So I'm going to do the same. And I think, okay lah, we split, yeah? Because we have hedging techniques that we have, like we need to cover 4 techniques. and then with all the concepts and other KG, yeah, and that takes quite long for us to cover. Or I mean, maybe 3 hours okay, but it's quite rush, yeah. So I split it, and then if you see that, yeah. So week 8 and week 9 too under the same chapter here, but speed measuring week 8, and then managing exposure week 9, and then the rest. So meaning that I exclude one chapter. What chapter that from I exclude? The last one. Financial international trade. That confirm. The rest, if I want to add, because usually we can add, usually we can adjust 80% of the content, whether you want to follow on or you will adjust 80. So if 80, so meaning that I can exclude 3 chapters, that is quite a lot. Okay, so far I exclude that just because of I split chapter 8. Okay, and we will see, okay, after that. So, any question for this? Any question? Right, no questions. So, okay, so I already uploaded this. Well, on Monday, as I mentioned, we missed this tutorial, T1, T2, and T4. Okay, I'm going to suggest something later on, but let's focus on the lecture first. Yeah, I'm going to propose something. So if you want, go ahead. If not, we find another alternative. So my consultation hours on Monday and also on Tuesday, and but please book your time now. But now since we have Microsoft Teams, so usually students tend to ask from there rather than knocking my door. So which preference do you want? I'll leave it to you. Which one that you convenient with? Yeah. Tomorrow we have tutorial slots for T3. Yeah, T3. So we're going to discuss assignment. Or project. What else? Cost plan. What else? Hold on. Group project. Slide. Tutorial. Okay, no need. Okay, that's all. Before we proceed to chapter 1. Any questions, class? Any question? No? Sure? Okay. So, chapter 1. This one quite similar, quite similar to financial management that you learned in semester 1, I believe, right? Semester 1, financial management, remember? It's just that we add the exchange rate, like international context type of financial management, yeah? So, multinational financial goals. Definition: firm that operate subsidiaries, branches, or affiliates located in foreign countries. Hold on, yeah. What is the difference between subsidiaries, branches, and affiliates? What is the difference between subsidiaries, branches, and affiliates? Anyone? Lista? Branch subsidiaries first. 3 hours kan, sebenarnya tanya. Have to, ma. No choice. But usually, you listen, think first. Okay, but I will go back to you. Apa dah? I can't remember. Hold on. In my class, usually I have this Q&A session, but my Q&A session, I will ask something that I think that is quite simple. If I think it's too technical, I know that it's hard for you. Okay, so usually I don't know anything that I'm explain. But remember, in your lecture, in your course plan, it mentioned that student-centered approach. So I just follow from the previous lecture. Okay, so I implement the same thing. Yeah, so Q&A. Yeah. Yes. Back to you. Okay. That's all? That's all you can say?
Yes.
Okay? Okay?
Subsidiaries are under the parent.
Under the parent company, if mark is 3, you don't even deserve 0.5. Why? Very shallow. Next. Yes? Because her face looks different. Someone else. You nervous, right? Because it back. Why is substitute? Simple. Okay lah, 0.5 I can give it to you. Okay, 0.5. A separate firm that is owned by the parents. When we add foreign subsidiary, that is located outside of home country. So that is subsidiaries. Okay? What about branches? Subsidiary, I'm not sure or like in a way that separate firm, but it's owned by the parents. What about the branches? What about branches? Yes.
Branches can be owned by individuals, companies, or individuals are owned by individuals.
Owned by individuals. But we're talking about the multinational complex. So I don't think individuals is a good term to describe. Okay, because we're talking about good try all of you so far. Good try, good attempt, but it does not satisfy you in terms to grasp the meaning of it. Okay? So branches, for example, you go for a holiday in Indonesia. Suddenly you feel proud when you see Maybank, kan? Do you feel that? I feel that. When I go to Indonesia, oh, Maybank, wow, exactly, wow, why? Because it's originally from Malaysia. So that bank is branching, but it's located in or outside Malaysia. So we need to say we can call that unit or division of the firm that is located outside of the home country. So meaning that is it separate? No, branch. What about affiliates? Miss? Yes. Yes, you are. Affiliate. What is affiliate? Why are you looking? Yeah. Too long, is it? You only half an hour. You have 2.5. Yes, back to you, please. Affiliates. Separate firm, right? That is connected to the parent firm. Doesn't matter whether it's collaboration, like joint venture, or partnership, and so on. Yeah? So that is the difference between subsidiaries, branches, and affiliates. Located in foreign countries, by the way, throughout your study, have you learned about exchange and everything, or this is the first time? Huh? Briefly about?
Learn before.
Which course? Actually, that you did all what's for charge. Hitting. Ah, okay. Then okay now. That's good enough to hear. Yeah? So manage from the, yes. So on top of that, M&E or MNC, multinational enterprise, and multinational corporation or companies, okay, M&E or MNC, same thing, interchange, yeah? So manage from a global perspective rather than the perspective of any single country. So meaning to say that it managed from global perspective, meaning that multiple countries rather than home country. Yeah? So MNCs are owned by mixture of domestic and foreign shareholders. So meaning to say that, for example, if this, for example, Petronas issues shares. Okay, so meaning to say that Malaysian investors can buy, so will be foreign investors. So as you can see here, both by domestic and foreign shareholders. So that one is investors. Shareholders means that, as mentioned, that it can be subsidiaries and so on. Yeah. As the MNE grows, the ownership of some of these firms becomes so dispersed that they are called transnational corporations. So for this year class, not to say too controversial, it's just that some scholars, they say that, okay, they say that actually MNCs and transnational corporations are the same thing. The other sides of the party say no, they are different. MNCs. Transnational corporations. Their argument is like this. When the firm start to grow, okay, and expand their business outside their domestic country, okay, for example, maybe in Singapore, for example, Malaysian firms, okay, expand their business to Singapore, then to Indonesia, Thailand, just like 3 countries. So it's both to say MNEs. But if these Malaysian firms, there are agreements lah, yeah. So if these MNEs, okay, expand more than, for example, like 20 countries, then this MNE is called transnational corporations. But to me, okay, when I read most of the, the informations that I read, okay, explain that actually transnationals and also MNCs are same thing actually, okay, it also known so forth, yeah. So importers and exporters are not M and E. Why? Second round. Yes, please. This one. Why? Like that. Why? Importers and exporters are not unequal. Why? Right? Try, come on. Actually, the answer is there. Try. Okay, I can start now, yeah? Because exporters and importers do not have entities or assets outside of the country. That's, I mean, like I already mentioned it, yeah? They're just doing international business, import export. But do they have subsidiaries? No. Do they have branches? No. The word, not to say the words now, okay? Maybe they have foreign distributors to distribute their products, their production site. Yeah, I mean the products, yeah? But not to say that they have subsidiaries or branches. So meaning to say that importers and exporters are not equal. Okay. Why purely domestic and domestic firms have impact on international activities? Okay, meaning to say, why purely domestic or domestic firm? Meaning to say that the establishment in Malaysia, they get the raw materials, simple terms, they get the raw materials from Malaysian suppliers. Okay, they cater Malaysia's demand. So meaning to say that, okay, they built in, okay, the factory in Malaysia, the production in Malaysia, they got raw materials from Malaysian suppliers, and then they sell it to Malaysian consumers. So this is what we call purely domestic firm. But why? Okay, these firms, okay, do have impact on international activities. So you can say that actually indirectly. Okay, exposed to foreign competition in domestic market. Okay, and also indirect exposure to international risk through relationship with foreign customers and suppliers. So there are many cases, I mean many scenarios. For example, Malaysia depreciates against, I would say, okay, let's say trading partners, Malaysia and also the United States, the US. Malaysian ringgit depreciates against US. Okay, meaning to say that the value of Malaysian ringgit is stronger. Okay, stronger than the US. Listen. During Malaysian ringgit acquisition, is it a good time for you to buy imported goods or not? Explain it. Explain it. Try. No? In the back, please. You know your head. Explain. See, yes, you see what? Can you help to explain? Oh, yes, I will explain that. The imported goods seems to be cheaper from our perspective, right? Okay, this means cheaper in our perspective. So it will attract more Malaysians to buy imported goods. So I want to relate with the domestic firm. Indirectly, this shift in demand will affect domestic firm. So we need to say, even though they are purely domestic, but indirectly they still get affected. of this, because of the foreign competition and so on. Yeah? So, now, name at least two MNCs, I mean like the successful MNCs in Malaysia. Can you name it? Yes, Mister. MNCs. Malaysian MNCs. Sorry?
Nestle.
Nestle, okay. I mean, next. But Nestle is not originally from Malaysia, but still, they have Malaysian business, perhaps. Okay, yes. That started from Malaysia. Started the business from Malaysia. It's too easy, huh? Sorry? Genting. Genting is quite good. Azeta. Blanket Berhad. What about Petronas? Petronas, right? Yeah? And I want to share something. I like to share something that I know. So, but how to minimize this, huh? Oh, okay, got it. Paste. Okay, so this consulting firm, they list the multinational companies in Malaysia that are quite successful. Yeah. So list of multinational companies which are successful in Malaysia, Axiata Group Berhad. Axiata, Satcom, one of the yeah, Satcom, and then BSF is one chemical industry, okay. ExxonMobil, Honda, Motor Malaysia, Intel, Panasonic, this one Petronas, Petroleum, National Berhad, okay, Proton Holdings, Samdabi, okay, TNB, YTL Construction. I mean, the parents started from construction, now they dispersed their business into multiple sectors. Yeah, I mean, most of them. Yeah, and so on. Okay, so I mean, at least you should know lah. When I ask, at least you should know. Yeah. So now, before we proceed to the next one, okay.
Hi, Joe. We brought you here today to let you know.
This one is about multinational from the message.
My name is Alan Bennett. I'm sitting outside of a technical conference here at the University of
This one is easy to understand, so let's watch this. Yeah. Okay, so for this one, yeah, when they establish a new subsidies, the term is what we call greenfield. Greenfield. And then if they take over the existing firm, I mean outside of the country, is what we call, I mean like merger in the merger or acquisition. Remember, new establishment, okay, of the firm outside of the country, I mean like starting from the clean slate, is what we call a greenfield. So this one you will cover under FDI chapter. Okay, but it's just that I just want to have this kind of the right words to explain. When it mentioned that states, it's not negeri, states, just like states means that different country. Yeah. After this, the speaker is going to explain about the issues with multinational, the pro and cons. Yeah. Okay, so that is the simple concept of the fundamental from domestic to international pace. Actually, it involves the globalizations that we're going to cover later on. Yeah, but I like this video because it mentions, about the pro. I mean, the negative impacts and positive impact. Of course, there are many sources explained about the good or the good, positive impact. Okay, about the multinationals. But don't forget, when it comes to the multinationals, it also comes with the negative impact based on what the critics has mentioned. So I might ask in the explanation, in doing the explanation. So who knows? So familiar yourself. So when you see the slides, where's the slides? Okay. So this one we already covered about the definitions, about the simple concept about subsidiaries, branches, and affiliates. So other than that, you can expand your knowledge about the positive impacts and negative impacts of MNCs. Okay, now financial management is about the art of managing money, meaning that money management. I mean, I ignore the international first, okay, about the financial management in general. It's about art of managing money, okay, money management. When we talk about money management, we talk about savings, about saving, investing, budgeting, okay, and setting financial goals and so on. But when we add international, meaning that international financial management, meaning to say about all the process that I'm talking just now in international context. So meaning that in domestic, we're only concerned about business, our surrounding that we're familiar with. But when international context, it involves multiple risks. The most obvious is political risk, right? What else? What else? Exchange rate, yeah? And so on, yeah? So now, the concept, managing of finance in an international business environment implies doing trades and making money through exchange of foreign currency. I mean, like this is part of it, yeah? So rationale of M&E, there are 5 points, isn't it? Yeah, there are 5. So this one, I would say that it's not that hard to understand. First, market seekers. They are looking for the market to expand the business. So, produce in foreign markets to satisfy local demands or exports to markets other than their home country. So, for example, okay, let's say these Malaysian products. Okay, these Malaysian products are well received in Indonesia. Okay, so instead of the firm that produces these products keep exporting those, so they might think that rather than exporting these products, why not they opened or establish the operations facilities in Indonesia to cater the domestic demand. I mean that when we talk about domestic demand, we're not talking about Malaysia, we're talking about Indonesian markets. So this is what we call market seekers. Okay, or maybe to exploit, like the negative impact is exploit the low labor cost. Okay, actually labor cost, we have this production efficiency. Yeah, and the US also. Okay, for example, General Motors is one of the biggest firms in the US. General Motors, yeah. They produce, they are automotive firms. Okay, they have factories. Okay, in Russia, it has factory also in Europe to cater the domestic demands. For example, to cater the European demands. Yeah. On top of that, number 2, raw material seekers. Not all raw materials are mobile. For example, oil, mining, forestry. Yeah. So to extract raw materials in foreign countries, okay, for the purpose of to export or further processing and sales in the host country, like Petronas. Petronas has multiple businesses, okay, outside Malaysia. Okay, that is related to oil and gas. For example, they have offshore outside of Malaysia. Okay, my brother-in-law worked for Petronas in Gabon. Gabon, African continent. Okay, one of the countries. Okay, why? Because they want to export these raw materials. Yeah. Number 3, production efficiency seekers. Produce in one country where one or more of the factors of productions are low relatively to productivity. So the production, yeah. I'm not sure I mentioned this here. No, I don't have, but never mind, I'm going to explain. Okay, so produce in one country where one, or for example, labor-intensive types of production rather than machinery-based. Okay, this type of production requires labor-intensive efficiency. So, for example, in Singapore, it's quite expensive then. Okay, so if they produce in Singapore, they have to bear with the high wages or salaries of the workers. Alternatively, they can open or establish or build a factory in India or in Bangladesh or maybe in Vietnam. But Vietnam, when I read that before, no longer considered as low labor costs. 10 years ago, even in our text offered, because I have the older versions, very old versions of the textbook. In one of the paragraphs, it stated that Malaysia is considered as one of the countries that offer low wages. But when I checked the recent textbook, they removed Malaysia. But 10 years ago, more than 10 years, Malaysia is a part, Malaysian was mentioned in the textbook. Okay? So as you can see here, due the production's efficiency seeker, so meaning to say that theoretically, it opened a business outside of the country. Isn't it? So meaning that it's no longer exporting, importing, but now they have, okay, the business or the factories or subsidiaries, in fact, in other countries. Yeah? Next, number 4. Knowledge seekers. Okay? Gain access to new technologies or managerial expertise in foreign countries. For example, this Malaysian firm, okay, intends to explore certain knowledge that is not readily available in our own country. So, alternatively, this Malaysian firm can, what they can do? open the R&D maybe outside Malaysia. For example, the technology advancements, available in South Korea or in Japan, usually these countries like that, these two countries. Okay, so they can open the R&D or research center, okay, in this country. So we need to see that from Malaysia, now they operate outside of Malaysia. So again, international firms, and then last one, political safety seekers develop new operations in foreign countries to avoid political interference. So for example, the host government, imposes very stringent rules of importing and exporting. To the point, it's very hard for the local firms to engage their international business. Okay, for example, maybe the Malaysian government, I need this example, just example. For example, Malaysian government imposes very strict rules regarding imports. So these Malaysian firms that need raw materials from China, for example, or from India, they're not able to do that because of these import restrictions. So alternatively, they can look or seek for other opportunities. Maybe they open or they build the production facilities in India or in China to overcome these restrictions. Okay, so this kind of example falls under number 5, political safety seekers. Okay, usually due to restrictions or the regulatory context. Okay. Now, I think this one, okay lah. There are 2 theories, theories of comparative disadvantage in perfect market and life cycle theories. Okay, that these theories are related to international context or international business. For example, one of the theories, explain about the comparative advantage. Comparative advantage versus competitive advantage. Do not get confused with these 2 terms. Comparative, we compare. Competitive, we compete with other rivals. So, specializations by countries that can increase production efficiency. With the motive that the firms, the local firms, that become international firms, they want to expand their business internationally. To export the comparative advantage that they have compared, or against or relative to other firms in other countries. So for this one, you can compare with 2 different products or with same products, same goods or different goods. For example, different goods. I think we have this good. Example. I go for example first. Exporters in country A sell goods and services to importers in country B. Firms in country A specialize in making products that can be produced relatively efficiently, given country A's endowment of factors production, land, labor, capital, technology. For example, it's all these factors are readily available in country A. So with this, the sites, the land, labor, cheap labor costs, the capital that they have, or maybe technological advancements that they have compared to country B, allow them to produce product A efficiently compared to country. So with this comparison, I mean not just comparison now, okay? Firms in country B do likewise, okay, given the factors of production found in country B. Okay, in this way, the total combined output A and B is maximum. Okay, simple terms like this. I'm a producer, okay, that is located in Malaysia. Okay, okay, this is another site. Maybe I would say in Thailand. I can produce product X efficiently due to the factor that I have. Maybe I have the technology, okay, or maybe it's quite cheaper for me because of the labor costs, okay, or I get support from the government, so in terms of capital, there's no issue with that compared to Thai firms. So meaning to say that in this case, when we compare, okay, I can produce efficiently compared to country B. Meanwhile, in country B, they will do the same with other products that is not really available in country A. So it opened a way for us between country firm A and firm B to trade for maybe import exports. So this is how, comparative advantage, comparative advantage explain how this theory explains about the international business emerge. Okay? So now, actually there are two kan? Only one? Two, yes. Adam Smith and also David Ricardo. But in the, I think in tutorial, I asked about this David, yeah. But under comparative advantage, okay, the assumptions, free trade, perfect competition, no uncertainty, mean that everything improves the market, yeah. Costless informations and no government interference. But in reality, so there is a so-called like the arguments or the critics about this theory, okay, saying that in real world there is a government interference for sure, okay. There is unequal information between parties involved, okay. So there are critics involved, okay, and also based on this comparative advantage, yeah, the products produced in country A cannot be produced in other countries. But now in commodities, one country can produce more than one commodities. Okay, so there are critics involved with this theory. Imperfect market theories, okay, refer to any economics market that does not meet the rigorous standards of the hypothetical perfects or purely competitive markets, yeah. So meaning to say that the factors of productions have differences across countries, yeah. So meaning to say that market is not perfect because of these imperfect conditions. It opens the way for international business or trades between countries. Okay, for example, some resources is not transferable. For example, it's not mining, yeah, oil, it's not really mobile. Yeah, so meaning to say that market is not perfect in reality, yeah. So because of that, international business emerge, yeah. So M&A strive to take advantage of these imperfections across markets, yeah, for products, factors of productions, and financial assets. So product cycle theories. I think you learn in the management, I guess. Okay, there is the introductions, growth, maturity, and decline. For example, when you first introduce the products domestically, yeah, domestically, quite low because you want to test the market. Your product is not really known by public, okay, or to the public. So during this time, the sales is low, but the cost is high because you cannot take advantage of economy of scales, right? Then, after a while, you start to receive or you start to have this regular customers as so called, and then you can get steady sales. Okay, you gradually start to increase your sales and manage to reduce the production cost. Yeah. Then after a while, like growth stage, your product is already known among public. Okay. Then C, maturity stage. After a while, the product, so-called, we can label as obsolete, especially technology. Do you think you still want to use BlackBerry? Do you think you want to still use BlackBerry? No, because we are here Android, iPhone, and so on again. Okay, so we need to see that if you do not improve, okay, your firm does not improve or get at par with other competitors. So this is what we call that maturity. They reach to the maturity point and about to decline. So my question number 3. At which stage that international business exists? At which stage that international business exists? Introduction, growth, maturity, or decline? Anyone? Can I try? Sorry? Decline stage. Why is that? You explain. Okay, right. So in between this stage, just now introduction is very low, and then growth increase the productivity. Okay, and maturity. This one mature already. If firm does not do something, then we go to decline stage. So at this stage, one of the way is to introduce the products to other countries where the technology is still below than our home country. For example, these products maybe low demand or less demand compared to 5 years before. But for example, in Indonesia, or maybe Vietnam, just example. This product is considered still acceptable or still new to them. So if you still stay in domestic market, you know that the stage is about to decline. So instead of, for example, here, maturity and decline, so now they can increase the sales by exploiting foreign markets. So foreign markets means international business. So that's how we engage this theory, product cycle theory with international business. Okay? Alright? You're quite bored, isn't it? Now, the role of M&E finance manager. As the firm increases its foreign presence and level of foreign investment, its management team must develop knowledge of the global financial environment. Actually, mostly we cover by all the chapters. Yeah. So For example, understand forex and trade. First, you need as a financial manager. I mean, you are about to become a financial manager 1 year, maybe 3 years from now, 5 years from now. Who knows? You're about to graduate, isn't it? Yeah. First, you need to develop the knowledge of the global environment markets. You study, okay, and then you read more, and then you understand the surroundings. Okay, first you need to understand. Second, develop the knowledge. Second, understand the forex theory. Forex, yeah, theory of markets. So this one, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, and chapter 4 especially. Chapter 4 we cover this. Okay, and then manage forex exposure. As a financial manager, you should know how to manage this exposure. Okay, perhaps on your receivables, the firm's receivables or payables. Okay, by taking, should the firm take hedging? For example, here, transactions, operating, and transaction exposure. For example, transaction. Okay, we have natural hedge. We have financial hedge that involve hedging strategies. Yeah? And we have operating exposure. So this is the one for number 3. This is the topic that I split. Okay, I speak about the theory of this. Operating is also called economy exposure. The vision is more on long term. For example, 5 years from now, we believe, okay, based on the market condition right now, we can forecast that maybe 3 years from now or closer to the elections, government will implement certain policy. So as a financial manager, okay, we should pursue this project in foreign countries because we will affect our capital, our fund. So as a financial manager, you need to come up with all the solutions, techniques, and also the decision making. Yeah? And then gain access. So number 4 is about raising fund. Yeah? Whether you need to issue stocks or bonds in foreign countries or in domestic. Okay, or domestic. Okay? By globalizing the cost and availability of the capitals, and then continue to make strategic foreign investment decision, means that you need to expand the business, you need to build the factory outside of the country more or into multiple countries or different continents. Okay, so if yes, okay, as a financial manager, you have to come up with the capital budgeting, okay, the plans and so on. Yeah, and also manage multinational operations. This one more on monitoring. Yeah. So this one, I think okay lah. Okay, so you can read by your own. Okay, globalization process. From the video just now, from the illustration, okay, from the illustrations, the speaker just now, okay, already explained, okay, all the illustrations, the states A, state B, state C, state D, and so on, okay. So it shows the process from domestic firm become exporting, importing, and open the subsidiaries and the acquisitions of the foreign firms and so on. Okay, but in textbook we have different pieces. Okay, first domestic. Okay. Actually, okay, maybe I'm thinking. Okay, never mind lah. I'll explain this one first. Okay, imagine this scenario, Trident, hypothetical. It does not exist. It's that we create for the sake of the for the study, yeah. So, but before that, globalization is the structural and managerial changes and challenges experienced by a firm as it moves operations from domestic to global. Global, okay, it expands. Okay, it expands. Whether import-export, have the business abroad or having entities or assets in other countries. Yeah. So, example, Trident is hypothetical. You ask based firms to demonstrate the globalization process assume Trident is a young firm. I mean, like, what's that term? I can't remember, but never mind. I'll go back. I can recall that. That manufactures and distributes an array of telecommunication devices. Trident is currently constrained by its small size, stiff competitions, and lack of access to cheap capital. Okay, so this is the one, domestic, yeah? So domestic, the illustration, as you can see, Trident is located in Los Angeles, in USA. It gets the raw materials from US suppliers, which is domestic, same country, and then sell the products, the devices, to US buyers. Quiet. Okay, US buyers, domestic. So domestic, so this is what we call domestic space. The upper one. So all payment in the US dollars and all credit is under US law. For example, there's a default payment or default risk. For example, the US buyers are not able to pay before payment. So all the lawsuits, okay, will fall under the US law, or meaning also the credit risk. Now, the lower part, okay, here we come. Yeah, so the upper part, domestic. Yeah, here you can see domestic paste. You can write it here, domestic paste. Initially, Trident sells its products in USD to US customers and buys its manufacturing and services inputs from US suppliers paying USD. So this one I already mentioned just now, I already illustrates that. Then the Trident expand the operations or interest in more than one country internationally. So let's go to this. Okay, Trident responds to globalization factors by importing input from Mexican suppliers and exporting products to Canadian customers. Okay, back to illustration here. Usage. Okay, so the upper part is domestic. Here, international. Where now instead of it has the customers that comes from the same country in the US, the US customers, now Trident has Canadian buyers. So in this case, there are two scenarios that could happen. First, our Canadian buyers credit will be okay. This one is fine now, yeah. So, but I want to explain about this. Will payment be made in the USD or Canadian dollars? So, if in USD, so meaning to see that Trident transfer the risk, the exchange risk, to Canadian buyers. So, meaning to say that Canadian buyers exposed to the fluctuations of the Canadian dollars against the USD. However, the most crucial thing is when the payment, okay, is quoted in Canadian dollars. So meaning to say that Trident will receive Canadian dollars, okay, and then it has to, okay, the Trident has to convert the Canadian dollars, the receivables Canadian dollars, to USD. During that time, it has to see, okay, what happened to the exchange rate between Canadian dollars against the USD, or USD against Canadian dollars when it's appreciate or depreciates. So for example, because the exchange rate, Trident could receive less than what is expected. Actually, the amount is the same, but the issue here is because of the exchange rate differences or the fluctuations. Okay, because the exchange rate fluctuates. So there is a situation where traders could receive less than what is expected. Okay, from the contract rate to the receivable rates. Yeah, so that is the risk now. Same thing with Mexican suppliers. Okay, will Trident face USD or Mexican pesos? If USD, then it's okay. You transfer the interest rate risk, the exchange rate risk to Mexican suppliers. But the crucial, or not to say the worst, the issue here is when the payment or the payable, okay, is quoted in Mexican pesos. So meaning to say that, Mexican pesos, sorry. So meaning to say that Trident is exposed to the exchange rate risk. Okay, so this one just import-export, yeah? Import-export. International. Oops. Where is it? Okay, so during this international stage, yeah, Forex risk and credit risk management will evolve. For example, I already explained just now, Forex risk, receipt and payment may be in different currencies. So the value of these foreign currency receipts and payment can change due to this fluctuation of the exchange rate. Yeah. Second one is about the creditworthiness of the buyers and also the suppliers. Yeah, is where there is a potential of non-payment of exports and non-delivery of imports. Especially when there is a case where you are not familiar with your customers. For example, when you first time, okay, involved in this transaction. Yeah. And differences in business and legal system and practices, different customs. In fact, later on, we're going to discuss about the firm's law. Okay, the shareholders reference participation model and stakeholders reference participation models. Okay, there are two different sets of goals that firm can achieve. Okay, or as a guideline when they want to run the business. Yeah. There is a dispute lah, okay? For example, maybe this kind of conduct is considered ethical in Malaysia, but this same conduct, it might be unethical in other countries. So this is what we call that business legal system and practices. Yeah. The last one is the one multinational. If the international trade activities are successful, for example, import-export, for example, Trident just now, between Mexican suppliers and also Canadian buyers just now, yeah, the base, it will soon need to establish foreign sales and service affiliates to increase the competitive advantage. So there is an opportunity for Trident to expand the business maybe in Mexico and maybe in other countries. Okay? Implication and exposure to have operating subsidiaries in a number of countries. So we have a few now, yeah? Okay, build strategic alliance. So meaning that when you want to expand, whether you want to build the subsidiaries or build the factories or productions or set up a subsidiaries, or maybe it's just that it's still new, you don't know Trident is not familiar with the customs, with the practices of that particular country, for example, in this case, maybe in Canada. So they want to have this collaboration first. So maybe they can involve licensing, maybe they can involve joint venture with the foreign partners. Okay, or they consider as partnership. Okay? So these options so exploit existing competitive advantage abroad. So production at home, exporting. This one is not considered multinational, yeah? This one is just international, but not multinational. And then production abroad, yes. This one start for like global complex, okay? Where you have assets or entity in foreign countries. Okay, in host countries, yeah? So as I mentioned that it could be licensing, or maybe control assets abroad, maybe joint venture or loan subsidiaries. Can you see that greenfield, as I mentioned just now? So this is the one, meaning that you set up the subsidiaries from the beginning, from the clean slate. You find the place, you find the land, for example, maybe in South Africa, for example. Okay, and then build from scratch till you train the workforce. So this is what we call greenfield. Acquisition meaning that you just take over the foreign business. Okay, so the advantage over this acquisitions, the existing market, the client base, yeah, over the greenfield. Class, I thought that it's already 2 hours. 1.5 hour or only. So we rest now. We start at 143. 143. Okay, let's continue to last part. the goal of the management. Okay, so goal of, okay, settle down, please. Okay, so goal of MNC are divided into two: corporate wealth maximization model, okay, or call it stakeholder implementation model, and shareholder wealth maximization model. So let's discuss about the stakeholders first. Yeah. So as characterized by continental European and Japanese markets. So mostly Japanese firms and European firms adopt this. Okay? This model focuses on earnings as much as possible in the long run while retaining enough to increase corporate wealth for the benefit of all interest groups. So, meaning to say, under this model, all parties are equally important to the firm, right? Who are they? Who are they, please? Hello. Who are they? Second point, all interest groups. For example, sorry. Okay, consumers. What else? Sorry? Employees, yes. With the employee, there is no manpower in the organization. Without the customers, there is no sales. Am I right? What else? What about governments? Yes, because the firm has to obey all the rules set by the governments. They have to pay tax to the governments, corporate tax. So meaning that all the parties that is related to the firms are equally important under this model. Okay, including the residential area where the factory is located, because there might be issues with environmental issues, for example, pollution and so on, isn't it? So we need to say that residents in that area is also a part of the stakeholders. Okay? What about the wealth? Is it shareholders' wealth? Under this theory, not only that. Yeah? Because corporate wealth is much broader than just financial figures. Okay, or financial wealth, or whatever reported in income statements. Yeah? This so-called much broader in terms of technicals, markets, human resources as well. So I mentioned that employees and so on. Yeah? And then on top of that, it's not only at the end of the day whether the income statements reported profit or loss. Yeah, it's more than that. We're including all the skills, the employee skills, manufacturing processes, technological proficiencies, marketing and admin capability. So meaning that it's quite broad actually. So when it's too broad, it comes to the one clause where the focus is too general. They don't have specific focus compared to the second model that we're going to talk about. Yeah, later on. So okay. Risk perceptions. The total risk, including operating and financial risk. Yeah? Again, it's quite broad. First, all parties, all the interest groups are important. Then, about the wealth, it's not about the figures, profit, loss, okay, about the cash flows, no. Everything includes skills, the technological things. In capture the risk perceptions. Yeah? Measures more by products market variability than by short-term variation in earning and share price. So because it's the broadness, okay, that comes with this model, so we can say that the flaws, okay, it meets the demand of multiple stakeholders that leave management without a clear sequence. Or maybe there's some issues with, for example, the firm proposed certain policies that might only benefit to governments and also in the counterparts, but not the others. So it can create conflicts, right? And also, as I mentioned, it's quite obvious here, leave management without a clear sequence because it's too broad, the objective or that what the firms wants to achieve. Yeah? Meanwhile, shareholders' wealth maximization, this one as a finance student, you always see this, right? Okay? As characterized by Anglo-American markets, US, Australia, Canada, okay? That this shareholders' wealth maximization, this model. This model, in contrast, has a specific group to focus on. And this group is the owners of the firm, which is the shareholders, the investors who buy the shares, isn't it? The more shares, the more ownership, the greater ownership in the firm. So now, a firm should strive to increase returns to the shareholders, okay, capital gains plus dividends for a given level of risk. So meaning to say here, okay, that the aim here is to increase the shareholders' wealth by increasing the share price. Yeah? And also the returns of the shareholders, meaning to say that the combinations of capital gain and also dividend. Capital gain means the difference between the price, previous and also the recent, okay, the current price. The difference, the spread is the gains, the return, okay, and also the dividend, the income from that, the income from holding the shares, right? So this periodic income, yeah, the combination is what return. So alternatively, the firm should reduce the level of risk to the shareholder for a given rate of return. I mean that the concept of here, high risk, high return. I mean, you learn about this kind of high risk, high return, the basic concept that you should know as a finance, you as finance students. Yeah? And then assume that market is efficient. What does it mean by this? The information, okay, the share price is always correct because it captures all the information. For example, Prime Minister has announced something this morning, and then the news is not so encouraging, that it's not well accepted by Malaysians. Do you think that it will influence the share price? Yes or no? Yes. To mean that the fluctuations captures the information. So meaning to say, under this theory, can we get abnormal return? Yes or no? Yes or no? Can we get abnormal return? Yes? Who said yes? Explain. Why yes? Sorry? No, under this theory, I'm not talking about the anomalies. What is anomaly? Meaning the critics about this, but we are talking about market measures. Under this theory, I get the same information, you get the same information, you also get the information. So we need to say, can I get better return than yours? In this case, no. But in reality, that's what you say, yes. Okay, but now we're talking about the traditional fundamental. Okay, unless if you want to get optimal return by luck, I mean this theory said now two things, by luck, and second, it's some traditional concept in finance that you should know. Come on, finance student. Huh? Unless, I mean that big, okay, I repeat, based on this concept, market, okay, efficient market hypothesis, you cannot get abnormal return because we get similar information. Okay, because the share price fluctuates based on the information that is received by all. However, meaning that you cannot get abnormal return unless number one, by luck, number two, no. Inside the information is under strong type of info. Remember, we have semi-strong, weak, semi-strong, strong. Apa ni? By investing in high risk investment. Read the concept, high risk, high return. That's it. Under this story. Okay, that one, by luck, yes. I have good luck than you, that's why I get a return. But normal condition, no one can beat the market. But then, after that, of course, back to mathematical informations over there. Okay, where actually in reality there are a lot of anomalies. Like, for example, Mondays, okay, Decembers, and so on. Okay. Okay. If just now, stakeholders maximization model, stakeholders, not shareholders, stakeholders. Okay. The risk is the total risk, including the operational and the financial. Okay, but for shareholders wealth maximization model. Okay. I'm not sure if I define risk in a very strict financial sense. Total risk, two types. Very good, systematic and unsystematic. Okay, that is the understanding in terms of risk for this model, shareholders maximization models. Okay, as the added risk as a firm shares bring to the diversified portfolio systematic risk. So, as you know, like that, systematic, that's something that you cannot diversify away. Well, systematic that you can diversify through portfolio diversification by adding up more financial assets under your portfolio. Okay, to the point that you are not able to eliminate the risk anymore, so meaning that you will suffer from the systematic risk. So this is basic concept that you should know. So I will have to elaborate more on that. Okay, the added firm specific risk and systematic risk should not be the concern unless bankruptcy and etc. Okay, so systematic risk cannot be eliminated through international diversification. Now, there is a sub-concept under shareholders' wealth maximization that is related to agency theory. So this one is pretty much simple, yeah. So agency problems, okay, the problems or the conflicts goes between managers and shareholders. Okay? Meanwhile, so immediate conflicts between managers and shareholders. Normal condition, like normal business. I mean the principal and agent, not that same thing, yeah? Principal and agent. This one, managers and shareholders, and also parents and also subsidiaries also can create agency conflicts. Okay, not only managers and shareholders, parents firm and its subsidiaries as well can create conflicts. Do I have this? Okay, they don't have this, so you can add. Okay, between managers and shareholders. I mean, this is basic concept, managers and shareholders. On top of that, parents firm, the management firm, the parent firms versus the management of the subsidiaries also can create the conflict under shareholders' wealth maximization model. Yeah. Okay, agency costs to resolve this conflict. Okay, cost of ensuring that managers maximize shareholders' wealth. Costs are normally high, okay, or higher for MNCs than purely domestic firms because it's, of course, MNCs are more complex than domestic firms. So do the operational side, so do the conflicts, yeah, because it involves more parties compared to domestic firms, yeah. So what is that? For several reasons. So monitoring managers of distant subsidiaries in foreign countries, that is more difficult. Yeah? Meaning to say that there is a periodic monitoring. Okay, there is an auditing and so on, and it's quite costly. Okay, in order to solve, I mean, this is one of the ways to reduce the agency conflicts, monitoring the subsidiaries. Okay, but the issue here is you can monitor for distance, but once in a while you have to be there and to oversee all the situations of your subsidiaries. Yeah, that's quite costly actually compared to domestic firm. B, foreign subsidiary managers raised in a different culture that may not follow uniform goals. Okay, for example, I'm one of the financial managers, okay, in the parents firm that located in the US, I mean American firms, okay, and the models that we have discussed earlier on in the US, we applied the shareholders' wealth maximization models. Am I right? And this firm that I'm working with, yeah, it has subsidiary in Japan. And Japan adopts the, which one? Stakeholders' wealth maximization models. So when I, as a financial manager, I want to make decisions, I always focus the benefit of the shareholders first. But in Japan, okay, the Japanese side, their objective might be different than the parents because their objective is quite broad. Yeah, so we need to say it can create a conflict due to this different objective. Or number two, may not follow uniform goals, different goals, due to different culture, different governance, and so on. And number three, because of the size. Okay, MNCs can create larger agency problems because more complex. It involves the more subsidiaries, the more issues that can be created. Okay, and then the tendency of foreign managers to yield short-term results. I mean, that's same thing like number two, may not follow uniform goals. Yeah. Now, the magnitude of agency cost can vary with the management style of the MNCs. So we have two: centralized management and decentralized management. Centralized management allows managers of the parents to control the foreign subsidiaries, and and it can reduce the power of subsidies. Yeah? Decentralized, the opposite, where the parents give freedom to the subsidiaries to control the firm. Okay, more freedom for the subsidiaries to run the business, but it can create higher agency problems or higher agency costs. Yeah. So centralized versus centralized. I repeat. Okay. The management or the parents run the business or take control of the foreign subsidies. Okay? I mean, it seems like number one is better. Okay? And it reduces the agency cost, but in reality it might be opposite because of different conflicting opinions around the business, the management side also. So actually, but theoretically we believe, yeah, it can reduce the agency cost. Okay? Okay, so this one is the methods. So never mind, this one is fine. So methods of overcoming agency problems through the separations of ownerships and control. Okay, independence board. Okay, this one I don't want now because this one is nothing to do with international context. It's just a normal situation. So this one is fine. Okay. All right. Any question, class? Any question? Hello? Yes or no? Okay, if no, I have a question. But first of all, scan the QR code. I need to do the quiz next time. Maybe I create quiz quizzes ke? Kan? To kill the time. Okay, so this is the attendance for today. Okay, now, are you done with it? Okay, my style. Any issue that is related to attendance, you must deal and solve before I leave the room. If, for example, tonight, Miss, I cannot scan and you think I can memorize all the faces here? I might say that actually you did not attend, but you pretend that you were here. So that's why, if anything, you have to come forward and deal with the attendance. Once I leave the room, you leave the room. No, I consider the attendance is 0 if you don't capture. So once you snap, can you check the history whether it's already in the system or not? Okay, now number 2. Number 2 is not related to T3. T3, where is T3? Tomorrow tutorial. Okay, you may leave. I have a question, class. Okay, please listen. For T1, T2, T4, remember last Monday, no class due to public holiday. So class, my question is, hello, hey. Okay, my question is, do you want to do it tomorrow or you want to continue today? Because we have 1 hour and because I want to discuss for group project only. Tomorrow? Sure? Okay, tomorrow then I will see you tomorrow for T1, T2, T3, 2:30 until 1:30 lah. I mean basically 1 hour, I mean maybe less. Okay? T3 normal 8 AM until 9:30. Okay, you may leave. Thank you very much. after the, well,